What's up, Weather World? My name is Oakland. I'm a forecaster at WeatherFlow, and hurricane season is upon us. So this week, I'm bringing you a special edition of Weather Word of the Week, where we're going to talk about not only the definition of a hurricane, but the entire life cycle that a hurricane goes through. Let's do it. If you've lived on the US East Coast or the Gulf Coast, you've probably heard of a hurricane, and you may even have already experienced one in your lifetime. Some of the famous ones in the past 5 years have been Hurricane Irma, Hurricane Michael, Hurricane Dorian, Hurricane Delta, and Hurricane Ida, all of which were major hurricanes that struck either the US East Coast or the Gulf Coast. And despite these storms turning into massive, powerful systems, they all started out as something known as a tropical disturbance, which is simply an organized mass of thunderstorms originating in the tropics that show a slight cyclonic circulation and winds less than 20 knots. This tropical disturbance is over warm waters of the tropics, which means that they can evaporate and produce clouds, which helps grow these thunderstorms. So as the storm system grows and the winds increase, the circulation becomes stronger. If the winds reach 20 to 34 knots, then the disturbance is then called a tropical depression, and it is given a number to identify it. If the depression can continue growing, it will form organized vertical circulation cells, which will produce strong updrafts and downdrafts that maintain the storm's energy. When the wind speeds surpass 34 knots and fall into the range of 35 to 64 knots, then the depression becomes a tropical storm and gets a name for an identification. Now, under the right conditions, tropical storms can continue to develop into hurricanes, which means that their winds have surpassed 65 knots. Depending now on how much more the wind speeds increase, determines what category the hurricane is classified into. Now, Category 3, 4, and 5 hurricanes are deemed major hurricanes. For a hurricane to dissipate and complete its life cycle, it either needs to make landfall or move into a region of colder water and with strong winds that are able to disrupt the circulation, which is something that we call shearing winds. Ultimately, when one of these two circumstances happen, the storm loses its source of energy, which was that warm tropical water. For more information on the life cycle of a hurricane, be sure to check out the blog post that I wrote, which is linked in the description, and you can also find it on our website. Thanks for watching this week's special edition of Weather Word of the Week, brought to you by WeatherFlow.